guys, it's now the 5th of April. I've still got my pond covers on at the moment for the simple reason they're saying we're going to get 1 or 2 frosts during the night, so I'm just leaving them on at the moment. I'm hoping to take them off within the next few days, and then we can get stuck in to the big clean up and the spring clean out to get ready for summer. But I have got the covers on at the moment, as you can see. Okay guys, what I've got here is the Aquasource Blanket Weed Resolve. It's supposed to treat 6,600 gallons. It's not as big a tub as I thought it would be. It's quite small really. There's a lot less in there than you get with the Cloverleaf, but that doesn't mean to say it's not as good. I've got my scales ready, so what I'm going to do is weigh out enough to treat my pond, obviously. So I'll get that done. I'm going to mix it in a bucket, well, in a watering can first, and then I shall add it to the pond and we'll see how we get on with it. Okay guys, that's my 380 grams, well 381 to be exact. So what I'm going to do now is get that into a watering can. I might just put half of it in for a start and then add the other half and do 2 doses into the pond. But I'm going to get that mixed now and get it into the pond. Okay, I've got my watering can full of pond water and my stirring stick, so I'll get about half of it put in there and then get it in the pond. Okay, it might be a little bit windy guys at the moment, but I've got my can of Resolve. My pond's ready, so I'm going to start just gently putting this into the pond, see how things go. It's a little bit cloudy, it's not as bad as Cloverleaf I don't think, nowhere near on that respect. Now to get it across the other side I'm going to have to put my phone down, I'm afraid. I want to get some over there, so I shall have to put you down for a second. Okay guys, it's all in the pond. I must say it hasn't clouded the pond up like the Cloverleaf does anywhere near. As you can see, you can still see all my fish. It's clouded it a little like it said it would, but nothing like the Cloverleaf does. It's a bit windy at the moment, so I apologise if there's any wind noise, but I did want to show you after I'd put it in. But that's it all in, so we'll see how it does. I'll give you an update in a few days time. Right guys, what I've got here is the cowling off the old cooker hood. As you know, in my last video I installed a new cooker and hood and all that sort of thing. Well, this is the cowling off the old one, and it's stainless steel, so I thought I'd hang on to it as I could possibly come up with some idea of using it. Well, what I've got is a rather large bucket there, and what I want to try to make out of the two is something that I can plug my pond back into that returns the water back to the pond. So what I've got to do from the water entering that bucket to it leaving is filter the water somehow. Like I say, I'm going to try to make a pond water return for the vacuum, my pond vac. So I'm going to see what I can come up with. I'm hoping I can come up with something, so I'm going to have a go at that. Okay guys, I've had a bit of a rethink, and where I was going to use this as the case for this pond vac filter, I was in my local DIY home base and I saw these, and they're really strong and really tough. £9.80 or something like that it was, and they are perfect for the job. So I've treated myself to one of them and I'm going to build it out of this. They're quite a decent sized box, just the job for this. So that's what I'm going to make the pond vac filter out of. Well guys, I've been trying to get some videos since yesterday. I put the Resolve in yesterday and I've been trying to get some video, but the wind is atrocious. But it does look to be killing the algae off. I don't know whether you can see it on that line that goes to my pond lights across there. It was quite hanging off that quite bad. Now it does look to be dying, so I think we're doing some good. The other side, just under the stones, I don't know whether I can zoom in, just give me a second. You can see it hanging down there on the liner, so I'm hoping it's going to shift that off. It's string algae, you can see it hanging down there, I hope. There are quite a lot of bubbles on the pond, but that's expected with the treatment in it. I've also got extra air on the pond, which you always use if you're doing any sort of pond treatment. You always put extra air in the pond. But all looking good at the moment. It's only had a day and it does look to be doing some good. Okay guys, what I'm intending doing here, I'm making up an air line for the pond. That's going to travel on the bottom of the pond along this edge, and I'm going to drop air stones on it. Basically what I've got, I use two 8-inch air stones in the centre of the pond, and it's very difficult to see your fish, so what I want to do is drop the air in around the edges of the pond. I'm not sure how this will work, it's an experiment, so we'll see how it goes. But that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just adding stainless steel weights, because it is airline, it will float. I'm just adding stainless steel weights to the airline at the moment. But instead of having two big 8-inch air stones on the pond, I'm going to go for 4 or 5 6-inch around the outside and see what effect that has. Right, well you can see what I've done here. I've actually cable tied the stainless steel to the pipe and then cut the ends off the cable ties, obviously, and that should rest on the bottom of the pond, helping to hold it down. Obviously it's got air in it and it will try to float, so I'm just weighting it down now. The air stones will help keep it down, so we'll see how we go. These are the air stones that I will be using. I've got a little bit of pipe on there that just fits into this 15mm Speedfit pipe. I am going to super glue it in. I shall put a little bit of super glue on and then thread the 15mm pipe over that, which should make a good joint. I've super glued it onto the actual air stone so that doesn't come off. And these are the 6-inch, and I'm hoping to get 4 or 5 of these round the pond, and they'll be running 24/7. Well guys, we've got a beautiful day here today. The sun's blasting down. It's beautiful. It's about 12 or 13 degrees at the moment outside, centigrade that is, and the pond's at about 11 degrees. Now I've still got my covers on for the simple reason we're still getting frosts at night. We're still getting the odd frost, so I'm leaving them on for a few more days yet. It's now been 3 days since I put the Resolve in, the algae killer, but I've been unable to make any videos for the simple reason that the wind has been atrocious and you wouldn't be able to hear a word I said. We've had quite good strong winds, nothing gale force, but we've had quite strong winds, so I've been unable to sort of do any video. But this is 3 days later after the Resolve was added to the pond, and the algae is dying. It's definitely dying off. There's quite a lot of mess on the bottom of the pond. It's dying algae, I think, bits of. It's all over the bottom of the pond. I do want to get this hoovered out as soon as I can, but I don't want to hoover anything out yet because the Resolve is still in the water and still working. If I hoover the pond out now, my hoover doesn't return the water to the pond, so I would have to change a lot of water and weaken the Resolve at the moment. So I'm holding off on that one. But it all looks good. There's a little bit of foam on the top of the pond. As you can see there is a little bit of foam on there, but that's from the Resolve, I expect. Nothing much at all. So the Resolve does seem to be working well, and it hasn't caused the mess that the Cloverleaf does. So I'm quite impressed with it at the moment. The water's nice and clear. It was cloudy for about a day and a half, but like I say, I couldn't bring any videos because of the winds that was out here. But it's a beautiful day here today. Absolutely fabulous. Well guys, it's here at last. The tops are coming off the pond. I'm going to get them off now and then probably start work on the pond tomorrow. The pond season's well and truly underway. The covers have gone, I've got it all tidied up. It's tea time, so my fence has gone on just to protect it for the night, and I'm going to go get some tea. Well guys, I was going to get so much done today. The English weather. Rain stopped play, I'm afraid. So I shall have to sit this one out. Time for a cup of tea. Here's my cat just having a drink here at the pond. The fish keep coming up and having a look at her. She's just had one right under her nose. They all keep coming up to have a look. I think they begrudge her drinking their water, I'm not sure. I do go up and check her out. Well guys, I didn't get anything done yesterday at all. It rained all day. Now what I've got here is the line that's going to go along the bottom edge of the pond, and into that I shall be fitting T's and the air stone into the T, or onto the T, but I shall have to put taps in this as well. At the one end I'm about 2'6" deep and 4 foot deep at the other end, so I'm going to have to put taps because the air is going to want to go to the shallower end where the pressure is the least. So I shall put 2 air stones up the shallower end near the pond inlets, and then a tap so that I can regulate the flow to them, slow it down because it's going to want to feed them more than the others. And then there'll be a couple as we go down the pond, a couple more, and I shall have to put a tap on there as well. And once we get to the bottom of the pond, it might flow on its own. I'm not sure what sort of pressure I shall have by then, but I'm going to fit it without a tap and see how we go, and I can always drop one in if I need to. So I'm going to get all this built up and then drop it in the pond, and we'll have a look and see how it goes. Okay guys, it's in and plumbed. As you can see, it runs down that side of the pond, and I've got them as close to the pond lights as I possibly can. I've got one more to go on down the bottom there. I've got that, still got that one to do, but I'm waiting for another tap. I want to put a tap on it to save me dragging it out and putting one on later if I need it. But it's in and working, and I quite like it, I must admit. I find that a lot better than having 2 giant 8" in the centre of the pond. I can see my fish and see what's going on. Great stuff. Quite pleased with that. Right, what I will do is we'll just nip and I'll show you the pump, the air pump I've got running all this. There might be a little bit of wind as we go down this side. Okay, so what we've actually got here, okay, so you can see they're the 2 pumps that I used to have, one on the pond and one on the moving bed. Now I bought this Blagden pump quite some time ago, and to be honest it was well powerful for what I needed. It's 60 litres a minute in size, but wow, it does move some air. So what I've got at the moment, I've got it running the moving bed and the air stones in the pond. So it's going to be running 5-6 inch air stones in the pond, and it's also going to be running the 8" in the moving bed. So you can tell what sort of air this is chucking out. Really, it's quite a good pump. It is a little bit noisier than the others, that's the only problem, but I have to say it does move some air, and that's a Blagden 60 litres a minute pump, and it's, I'll whip the top of it. It also moves this in the moving bed, and as you can see we've got plenty of movement on there, so I've got plenty of air, so it does work quite well actually. So that's the pump I'm using. The other 2 are redundant at the moment, I won't sort of need them, but I think the one Blagden at, I think it's about 60 watt. The one Blagden at 60 watt is less than the two of them we're using, so it's swings and roundabouts really, but it does throw out a lot of air. It throws out more air than both of them put together, so I'm quite impressed with it. It's quite a good pump. Like I say, it's just that little bit noisier than the other two were, but I'll get used to that, I suppose. I do actually shut my skimmer down during the winter. Being as I cover the pond over, I don't really see a lot of point in running a skimmer, but you can see the actual foam it's taken off the top of the pond as a result from that resolve. But I've got the skimmer back up and running again, so it's all going quite well at the moment. That's the air lines from the other end of the pond, the air stones around the top there, and then I've got two at the top there, but I've just got one more I want to put in down this end, down here, so I shall just whip it up and drop them in. Well guys, it's just starting to rain, so I did get a little bit done this morning. It's dinner time now and it's starting to rain, and they say it could be here for the day. So that brings us to the end of another video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and all that it leaves me to say is do take care, thanks for watching, and as always, happy ponding.